I would say drama is on digital platforms, dramas underperform.
Yeah.
Unless they're heavily star-driven. I think that most dramas, I mean, and it depends, obviously it depends on the audience you're tailoring it towards, but if you're tailoring it towards a youth-oriented audience, it'll do very well on digital platforms. If it's adult-oriented, and then obviously, you know, caveat, because any film can break out of the mold, but in general, I would say that's probably one of the worst performing genres.
And it might also depend on who the subject is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what if it's also a spy film?
And it has sex, like throughout the entire film.
Is it more about the demographic of the audience because a younger audience is more consuming digital and an older audience is still not VOD?
Actually, 55% of mobile phone consumers are actually between 25 and 49. Interesting statistic. But wait, can I just, before we get overwhelmed, you know, it's not only about digital either.
Yeah.
So for example, with Mom on the Couch, we recognize what Eric said, and I think that's probably true, but there's, depending on the subject of the film, there's a whole year of non-theatrical distribution you can be doing, and educational distribution you can be doing at festivals,
right.
and lots of other ways that you can make money and get your film out there. It's not just digital. I mean, that's obviously a big part of this discussion, but let's not forget that there's a whole world out there of people who see movies. Wait, and Nolan wants to answer that.
Yeah, and I would just add, whether it be spy thrillers or documentaries, you know, you want to work with a company that is going to be receptive to the best way to find your market. I mean, and getting a sense from Eric's presentation and getting a sense for Sheila's presentation, you know, it was said before, you know, companies take your film for 20 years and then they just like don't answer your calls. I mean, I know with us, you know, we'll put a film out into cable VOD and digital on a transactional basis, and then I'll call up filmmakers and say, well, when do you want to go out on Netflix? You know, do you, or when do you want to go out on Hulu? Like, we have a very collaborative conversation with filmmakers about how they want to window their film, which I think, you know, is in the spirit of things like this, do it yourself.
And when they're making those
symposium.
decisions and you guys are talking together, are they doing their marketing? Are you guys doing some, or is Warner doing some, or what?
It's a combination of all three,
Well,
and the key is just sort of,
All right, we're going to get to everyone. Okay.
What about international integration, and what is the developments that you're seeing with digital integration worldwide, domestic versus?
Well, we're kind of combining licensing rights internationally. We're working with Ariel Veneziano on the foreign sales side, and also reserving rights. First of all, anytime we do a licensing deal, we will have digital be handled in somewhat of a non-exclusive manner, such that any platform that the buyer cannot get the film onto, we have the right to do so. We're working with a company called Diva. That is a global digital aggregator distributor. I mean, this is a brand new relationship, so I can't, but Thomas Mai on our board of advisors, I mean, Festival Darlings, he's really focused on digital worldwide and sort of helping us figure that path out. U.S. is behind Asia, but Europe is behind the U.S., and there's new platforms now emerging in Europe, and there was just another indie one that we posted up on our Facebook, something like Indie Movies or something, I forget what it is, that launched in the UK. But I think that is very important. It's very important that before you license rights, you either you know that you're getting a big fat check and you're okay with what happens after that, or if you're not, that you treat your film more carefully, because listen, Sundance Channel is now in 3 territories outside the U.S. We did do an IFC worldwide deal, and Netflix is intending to expand internationally. iTunes is obviously all over the globe. Sony PlayStation, there's lots of platforms that are. So I think it's a little too soon to sort of speak completely thoroughly about the options, but I would certainly reserve your options before giving away your rights. Does anyone else on the panel want to say something?